And I'm going to start the screen share. Okay, here we go. All right, so welcome to our Core 101 session. As I introduced, it's hosted by Healthy Aging Alberta, United Way British Columbia, and HelpAge Canada. So we welcome you here today to learn about the core platforms. Before we get too far into it, I would like to do a land acknowledgement. So in the spirit of our journey to promote reconciliation, we'd like to honor the truth of the shared history and acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. And I am tuning in from the Treaty 7 territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, including the Kainai, Piikani, and Siksika nations. I've also tuning in from also the nations of the Tsuut'ina and the Yahe Nakota, including the Goodstoney, Chiniki, and Bearspaw nations. I'm also tuning in from Métis regions 5 and 6. Um, and I like to acknowledge that we're all tuning in from different parts across Turtle Island here. So recognizing those traditional lands and the knowledge keepers and elders who have been championing those lands from all across Turtle Island. And the privilege that we have to meet in this space, in this virtual space, and connect with each other. Some housekeeping. So just keep yourself muted while we're going. You can always turn off your video too. We will have some question time at the end if you want to turn your mics and video back on, or you could ask questions in the chat. You could use any of your reactions or your raised hand if you have questions. And then of course we can have conversation in the chat, or you can unmute yourself at the end and we could discuss certain issues. And as mentioned, we will be recording it, so we'll have it up there later. So you don't need to worry about frantically taking notes if you just wanted to have it there later to look at. I'll introduce myself. Like I said, I'm representing Healthy Aging Alberta. So Healthy Aging Alberta is a network of community-based senior serving organizations across Alberta that are united by a shared vision, which is to make Alberta one of the best places in the world to grow older. Healthy Aging Alberta is coordinating the CBSS sector in Alberta to connect and collaborate on common issues, build a sector with capacity building so that we can amplify the voice. So we're creating that infrastructure that connects us to increase our collective impact. And by that greater sector coordination and broader network weaving, we're able to collaborate on those key priority issues, which ultimately means that older adults are better resourced and the services for older adults are enhanced. So some of the work that we do, we have a variety of different service delivery model funded initiatives across the province in social prescribing, transportation, and home and community supports. What are our current numbers? I think we're at like 57 funded. We have a call out for funding applications. If any of you are from Alberta, you're welcome to apply right now. All 3 of those are currently open until the end of November here. So you can look on CORE for that funding information. But yes, here's some of the visual of the different areas that we support with some of that funding, but also we do systems mapping for the province. We have some EDI strategy work we're doing, some workforce planning work that we're doing, and we have our Healthy Aging Framework, which we just launched our digital tool of that too, so that folks can plan their work using the social determinants of health in a digital setting. And we are guided by a community leadership council of representatives across the province that help guide our work and determine where we're making movements. And I'm going to pass it to my colleague Winksy, who's going to talk a little bit about United Way BC.
Hi, everyone. So glad to see that we have quite a few people from BC today with us here in the session. So United Way BC Healthy Aging is able to support a range of person-centered programs and initiatives for seniors and elders to remain active, connected, and engaged in their communities due to the fact that we have a strong community-based senior services sector. We also work with this community-based senior services leadership council that includes seniors living in community at the table to discuss trends and directions for the work as a sector. So similar to what Healthy Aging Alberta has as well to lead their work. And next, I'd like to share with you some stats from our most recent annual report in 2024 to 2025. Um, We've seen the numbers growing and sometimes doubling year on year. So we had 169 agencies delivering programs um, and services to over 65,000 seniors in communities across BC. Programs like Better at Home, social prescribing, family and friend caregiver support, social meals, volunteer support, and many more. We also provide sector strengthening initiatives such as Project Impact Healthy Aging, where organizations learn how to do developmental evaluations. And we have a session coming up that's featuring the cohort that just graduated in June. So, showcasing some of the projects that they did an evaluation on. I think that's happening on November 20th. If interested in joining that session to hear about like their experience, um, you can come to Core BC later and look on our training and events calendar to find the registration link. We also have a strong community engagement arm of our work that includes the CBSS Leadership Council, regional consultations, as well as events such as our Provincial Summit on Aging, which took place last November, and then we'll have one coming up in 2026 in November. So we also do work around research and knowledge mobilization, and that includes, of course, Core BC and our Core BC newsletter. So now onto about the CORE network. So CORE stands for Collaborative Online Resources and Education. It's a provincially and nationally coordinated learning platform, and it's really designed to support and strengthen the community-based senior services sector. This is a free platform for all to access the latest information and news from the sector. Um, Access training materials, resources, and a way to engage with other members of the sector through discussion boards, webinars, and other learning events. So CORE is a multifaceted platform and it has a lot of resources and it really is meant to be kind of a one-stop shop for the sector. There are currently 3 Healthy Aging Core websites in our network. We have Healthy Aging Core Alberta, with Healthy Aging Alberta and United Way Calgary and Area as the backbone organization to manage the platform. And for Healthy Aging Core BC, we have United Way BC as the backbone organization. And then we also have the National Healthy Aging Core Canada, with HelpAge Canada as the backbone organization. So here you'll see that there are 3 different Healthy Aging Core platforms, but they all have a very similar layout and design with some variations. But overall, if you know how to navigate one site, then you'll be able to navigate the others. So that's why for this Core 101 training, we do it together. All 3 of us here from the 3 core platforms. Also, each site curates their own content. So if you're interested in what's going on in another province or nationally, feel free to sign up for a core account on those sites or sign up for their newsletters. And since core is open to anyone to join, but what we find is most of the people who are interested in joining are CBSS staff or volunteers. We also have different allied system partners, for example, people from the healthcare sector or local government, or anyone interested in being a part of a provincial knowledge hub. And of course, you need to have a email. One thing I must point out though is that the platform is not intended for seniors who are specifically looking for services because we don't have up-to-date information, for example, on where is the best place to access information and referral services or transportation services. Um, so for seniors who are looking for services, another resource would be to contact 211 or their local CBSS organization. Also, Core is meant to be a platform that is free of commercial interests. So it's not the right place if you're looking to promote your business or product. We do vet members and content to the best of our ability, and we'll take down inappropriate content. Um, okay, so next we're going to go visit the platform and do a demonstration of some of the different features you can find on Core. Back to you, Stephanie.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right, I'm just going to jump to the platform here. Okay, here we go. Can everybody see my platform page?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is the core platform here, and as Winksy showed you, they're very similar amongst the three platforms. You'll see the layout is very similar. There's a few differences on our different sites, and you're welcome to be a member of all three sites if you would like, and use the resources off all three sites. So up here at the top toolbar, there is, you can easily flip between the different sites. So you can see here I'm on Core Alberta, but if I just wanted to quickly jump onto BC to see some information, I could do that. And I can also switch to national. So that's an easy way just to jump between the three sites. You don't need to be logged in to access the sites. You only need to be logged in with a profile to access the group areas and to post your own content. Otherwise, you have access to all the other pieces here without being logged in. You also have a general search at the top here. So for example, if I wanted to, just type something quick here, like transportation, I can just put it in the top, and then there's a bunch of different things. Actually, here's the funding that I just mentioned here that we have going on right now in Alberta. Oh, no, that's my group. Never mind. There's the funding that's open right now. So you can see the different resources here. There's lots of different pages, quite a few pages. We'll show you later how to narrow your search. But this is just a general site search if you're just quickly looking for something. And you can always click on one of the pieces of information, open it up, see the pieces there, and there'll be some hyperlinks and things like that to look at. Also at the top here, you'll notice there's a little globe. That's if you would like to switch it back and forth from French to English. And that will translate the site here for you. So that's a nice feature that we have there. And then when you're logged in, you won't see this unless you're logged in, but you'll see a plus sign up here. And that's your opportunity to add content to the site. So this platform, or these three platforms, are very much by community for community. They're led by community to post content, post new resources that either you want to share or that you've come across. Maybe you have an event you want to load up into the system. Maybe there's a training that's going on that you caught wind of, or a new discussion or a new funding opportunity. So there's different options for you to load. And so we really encourage you to try posting content on the site. And we're going to go through in a bit how to do that. You also see your notification area. So this will let you know if you'll get notifications for the groups that you're involved in, or if your content has been approved. You have a chat here, which you can message some folks within groups, um, and some other users that way, and you can have a little chat back and forth. And then you also have your account here. So within your account, when you sign up for your profile for the first time, they'll ask you, of course, your name and your email and all that standard. So this is where you can go to edit it later, and you also filled out that description, so you can edit it. and save your changes. At any time, if you change organizations, you can also just edit your account and put in the new organization email. So if you swap to another organization, just log into your account, swap out your contact information, and then you've updated it. You don't need to create a new profile each time you swap organizations. This is also where you can change out your password and you can change some of your notifications, or you can delete your account if you want to do that. Um, yeah, so that's how you update that. And there's also, you'll notice there's the sign out up there. Now, coming back to the main screen. So the home page, as you scroll through, all three platforms share some of the highlighted information from the different pages. So it shares some things from the news section. In the event section here, it shares a few of the upcoming events in the next few days. We'll show you later where the full event calendar is, and you can see there's also links through to go to the full pages. Um, it shares top 3 resources here from the last few days. There's a connection to the groups. And we have some like little some hyperlinked tabs here. For example, the core learning hub is here on the front page. Um, and I'll just click through to that. So the pages have this core learning hub. So you can find it either from that homepage, or you can also find it under resources. But there we've put together some different information on our pages that link to some of our videos, the next live session, some of the different training resources. We made this training into 5 chapters. So if you just need a refresh on how to post content, you'll look at chapter 5, and that links you to the video, which is only, I think, 8 minutes long on how to post content on the site. And it's essentially the same training that we're doing right now with you, minus the information where we introduced ourselves. So quick little chapters. We have some downloadable guides to, I believe on the BC one, they have a few additional pieces because Wingsy's been working hard on some additional resources there. So yeah, the learning hubs are a little bit different on each site, but they're a really useful tool when you want to come back in and just refresh your brain if it's been a while since you're on the site. And we continue to update them with resources that you might need for supporting your work on the site. Okay, so that was the homepage. Also some links to programs initiatives, some about sections, and then there's a newsletter sign up. So um, typically when you sign up for the website, it doesn't automatically opt you in for the newsletter. Some of them do, some of them don't, but to make sure you can come, all 3 sites have this newsletter sign up, so you can just fill out the form and sign up to our newsletters. And the nice thing about that is we all run on I think we're on a bi-weekly basis right now, the 3 newsletters, and we typically feature some highlights from the site and things that have been recently shared. So that's a nice way to get a little snapshot of some of the things, the feature things that might have been posted that if you haven't had a chance to be on the site in a while. So we recommend you sign up to the newsletters. You will have to do, of course, a separate one per website since we're different newsletters. And then there's some additional little menus down here, like research, participation opportunities, etc. And you also can switch between the 3 sites at the bottom here. So we encourage you to explore that homepage, so just so you can be familiar with what's on there. And then you notice some of those sections that I shared with you, they're also on the toolbar. So news, events, resources. So we'll go through the top toolbar here. I'm going to come back to groups, but let's jump into funding opportunities. So all 3 sites will have a funding opportunity section. And by no means is this a comprehensive list, because we just ourselves and folks from the community just post opportunities that they come across. So it doesn't have every single funding opportunity available to you, but it is a nice place to check and see if there's something that is maybe applicable for what you're applying for. So you can, of course, in the search here, you can search by category, right? So for example, if I wanted to look up some funding for Indigenous communities, I can hit apply. and then we can see what's open right now. And then here's a few of them. Some of them, typically when we're posting content, we like to post if it's a Canada-wide funding or a specific region. So you can see this is a good example that this one's Canada-wide, this one's only Alberta-based, and this one's Edmonton-based. So if you are posting content and there is a specific region, try to identify that, because then that really helps others who are looking at the content on the site know if it's applicable to them. Also, it's nice to put the deadlines in the title, because then that gives folks a quick little look of, oh, this one was April. That might not be good for me. Now, we don't necessarily unpublish them when they're passed. For example, some of these ones you can see, these two did pass. However, as you know, a lot of these funding streams come annually year to year. So one of the reasons, typically we do, I know on my side, I do a big cleanup at the end of the year and re-edit the dates. But because a lot of these come year to year, we typically will keep them there, and then okay, well, maybe April 2026, this one might come up again, and I can keep an eye on this link. And usually all the links are the same. There's very few of them that switch out the links, but quite often most of the links remain the same. So you can still click through that. You can be like, okay, let me click on this one here, see what it's about, um, take me through to the application page, right? So here they have this information. You can click on the application page and see the full profile of that grant, see if they've posted their new deadlines at all yet, which they might not until, later in this year. Okay. The other thing that's nice about this is, so you can also search here. Like if I wanted to look up things going on in December, I can just do that and hit search. And there we go. There's some of the ones that are happening right now this month that I can be looking at. And then, of course, I can click on them, see the information. Usually whoever's posted it has given a little snapshot about it. You can kind of see some of the information, and then typically they've linked to the page that you can follow through to and get the full details on that piece and everything that you need to know. Okay. So that's our funding section. Network partner organizations. This is a little bit different on our different platforms. For example, Alberta, we've linked our systems map here, but we all have this featured programs initiatives. So when you want to post information about your program, you'll notice in the post, and it says new program here. So you can post your program in here, and then you can also edit it. So if you have a new cycle, you have some new resources, you can edit your post. So when you come in here, for example, here's a program. You can see the different information. Some programs have attached their handouts at the bottom. This one hasn't. Let me go see if I can find one with. Let's see about you. Let's see if you have a handout. No, nobody's put their handouts on. Why has nobody put their handouts on? Nobody's put their handouts on. Okay, well, you can attach handouts. This one usually puts their handouts on. There we go. So you can attach handouts there. These folks obviously need to update theirs, but you can attach up to 20 megabytes of attachments here, and then you can see folks can download them. You can also embed pictures in the content. You could put hyperlinks. And then the nice thing is when you post your program, you can also edit it after. So if, for example, these folks, they have until September 25, so they need to put their new fall schedule on, they could just go in and edit this post and tweak it for the new season. They don't need to create a new post. And that lets folks know about your content. On the Alberta one, we also have our systems map here, which links through to our systems map. I'll open it up quickly. I'm not going to go too much into it, but you're welcome to play with it. But this is a pretty cool tool that we launched this year. that shows a bunch of the different partners across the province. You can click on them and find out. I was actually having issues today. It was being slow, but you can filter it by different things and you can click on them to find out where they're working or who they are and information about them and their contact, etc. So that's an interesting thing that we have on our site that you're welcome to play with. Um, the other sites, I think I'm going to jump to BC because Wingsy, you have something different on yours as well, correct?
Under network partners.
Yes.
Oh, we removed that. I
Oh,
think we
no.
only have the
All right.
featured programs and initiatives right
Let
now.
me see. National, is it you? Ah, yeah, National still has the allied partners. So National has a little bit of this one as well, some of their allied partners that you can look at. Okay, so that's the network partners organizations. The resources, training events, and news Wingsy's going to talk about, but I'm going to jump back to groups here and then pass it over to my colleague. So groups are, each platform has a different amount of groups. Like Core Alberta has about 19 groups right now. Anybody can start a group. You can reach out to one of the three of us if you have an idea for a group. And some of the key elements to create a group are that you want to be passionate about creating maybe a community of practice with other members on a certain issue across the province or the country. So, um, so there will be options to contact us. So you can see some of the ones I have, for example. There's two different types of groups. There's open groups and closed groups. Open groups, and I'm sorry, I logged into my admin profile, so I'm in a part of every single one. Open groups are groups that anybody can join. They're open to members from all across, the province or the country to be a part of. Even if you're out of province, they'll let you in, and there'll be just a button that says join. Now, closed groups, we have a few of them on the sites. Those are ones that maybe have a targeted practice. On my site, for example, this transportation project and the home supports project, those are our funded initiatives. So we have small groups of the funded partners in here. So this button instead will say request as opposed to join. And what happens is then somebody is determining whether or not you're a good fit for that group before they approve you. So just know that some of the closed groups, depending if you're connected to the work or not, they may decline you if they feel you're not connected to the work that group is joined. Most of the groups, though, in the sites are open groups. And you'll see there's a variety of different ones on my site. Like I have some that are serving immigrant older adults or men's sheds, social prescribing. We have this emergency disaster preparedness. So you can look through all the different groups, see what they're about. And then if you're interested in one, you can join it and then you could come into the space here. I'm going to choose this intergenerational community practice because they actually started their group on the Alberta site and they've now also been moderating the national site. So this group is working between both sites. And they're a group of folks that's across the country that's passionate about intergenerational activities. They meet monthly. We have representatives from all across the country that run this group. So I think we have about 7 people now, and they lead the different events, but anybody's welcome to come to the events. And you'll see the different information that they've posted in the group space on both the Alberta and the national platforms. So you'll see some information about them. You'll see maybe some of their different events. There might be a recording from the past event, like this one here. And you can see our October community practice meeting. Here's the recording of that meeting. So there's different resources that they've posted. Also, you can see sometimes the next event that's coming, like this one here is actually going to happen. I encourage you all to come to our session on Tuesday. We're going to have this one on Tuesday where we're talking about intergenerational approaches in preventing family violence because it's Family Violence Month. Um, so we're going to have some speakers on that, and the link is there. You can see you can register for it. So yeah, the home page has a variety of different recent posts. You'll see with each one, there's opportunity when you click on it. There's opportunity to have discussions. There's also the discussion page here that folks can post a comment about a certain thing. Like, let me just click on one here. You can open for me. There we go. So when you click on something, you'll notice at the bottom there's an opportunity for discussion. So just like a Facebook group, you can have conversation back and forth. You have different emojis and things like that. You'll get notifications if folks are reading that. So you'll see in some of the groups they have conversations about what are some of the things you're doing right now, and they might be going back and forth on a certain issue, like a forum. Like here, there was a best practice conversation going on here for a while. So folks can go back and forth on that. Actually, let me open that best practice and see if it gives a good example. Yeah, so just like a forum, you can see there was some conversation back and forth between folks on that. So you can post a topic in there if you want, and then other group members will get notice. Um, the resources section has all of those resources that they've posted together. And sometimes they're in folders too, and you can search in there. Events has some of their upcoming events, such as that one that I just showed you from the 18th. And the membership, you can see the other members in the group. There we go, lots of folks. And I can actually also message them. So if I click on that person, I can see who they are and I can send them a message. And then that will go into my messages area here. So that's an interesting way to connect with some of the other folks directly in the group through the space. There's also the notification settings, which allows you to change your notifications. If you're getting a lot of notifications from a certain group and you want to tone it down, you could turn them off. I don't think any of the groups right now on the 3 sites are being really active with notifications, so it's usually quite manageable, but so you don't necessarily need to do this, but if you want, if it is getting a lot, you can turn it off. So yeah, we welcome for you to join the groups, come to the different groups either on the platform that's related to your province or national. You're welcome to jump into other groups too on the other platforms and just collaborate on that work. And then if you have ideas for certain groups that you want to start that aren't covered in our groups and you want to be a champion of that, then you can just reach out to one of the 3 of us and we can chat a little bit more about what that means to host a group. Okay, I'm going to stop my share and pass it back to Wingsy, who's going to talk about resources and events and some of these other pieces.
Great. Let me just. Okay, so I'm going to be going over some of the other tabs up here. And I'm using the Core BC website, so it looks similar to Alberta's. The only difference is that we also have a tab here called volunteers. This is because one of our funding program is volunteer coordination and supports. So we have volunteer training materials and volunteer resources under this tab for the agencies that we support. So if you need anything for volunteers, you can always go under this tab and then you can find resources there. We also have news, which is just any articles or researches or call outs that are relevant to the CBSS sector. Usually we'll put them into here. Um, and so yeah, if you click in, then you'll kind of see what new research opportunities are going on or any new reports or anything or articles. Um, and then I'll go through resources and training and events as well. So under resources, This is probably the place that a lot of people go to on Core is to look for resources. Is one of our most visited pages. So if you scroll down, you'll be able to see a list of, all the resources that we have on here. And on some of the Core websites, I think we're like in the thousands of resources. Some of them are very recent. Usually we keep them quite, we clean up and we make sure that things are up to date. But if at any time you notice that anything needs to be cleaned up or it's already irrelevant, then you can always let us know. But we do go in from time to time to clean things up. And so the resource library, you will find guides, research articles, infographics, tips, etc. How you can use this is you can use this filter or search bar area to help you kind of narrow down to find the resource that you're looking for. So you can either select one of the filters, like subject areas, caregiving, and then you go apply, and then it will kind of just shortlist all the ones that have been tagged for caregivers or caregiver support. Um, so yeah, that's how you can look for it. Or you can also, if you click reset, it'll just take away all the filters. You can always just type in caregiving as well. And then it will come up with a list of resources. And if you click into one of them, for example, this one, resource, um, you will see kind of information. There might be an attachment here. Sometimes there might be like a website link. So you can also see resource here. You can go to the website to read more about it or get more additional information as well. And then in terms of adding a resource. So I think Stephanie mentioned that if you press the plus sign here, you'll be able to go add a new resource. So we do encourage you to share any resources that you have or any articles or reports that you come across that you want to share with the community. And when you click that plus sign, you'll go to a form that looks like this. And you just need to fill in the fields. And so what I've done is I've taken one that's kind of already pre-populated. You put in like the description. The author is usually the organization that's, produced the article or the report. The title, things like that. What type of resource is it? Is it a website? Is it a document, a video? You can also put in a short summary so that people know what it is when they are just doing the search. You should also put in a cover photo if you can. It just makes the posts a bit more attractive as well. And sometimes it also gives people an idea, kind of like, oh, where is this article from or what's it about? Um, and then you'll find that there are a bunch of tags down here. So you can select, we don't advise you to select a lot. Try to conscientious and select maybe 2 to 3 tags so that it's easy for people to kind of, so that it doesn't show up for like anything. It shows up only specifically when people are looking for those things. And then you can also attach files. You can embed videos as well. And this is where you would also do that. And then just before you end this, or just make sure you click save, which is here. And then once you click save, when it's a new article or a new resource, it will tell you that, oh, your post needs to be approved. And one of us, usually either myself or Stephanie on Core Alberta or Selena on Core National, we will check these and we will approve the posts if there's no problem with it. And for myself, for Core BC, it's usually like 1 or 2 days, maybe 3 days max to approve the post. Um, yeah, and then in terms of the training and events calendar, we have a lot of events that go on. Some of them are like, for example, for United Way BC, we do host some of our own webinars, and some of them are webinars from other core sites or other organizations that are related to healthy aging, or for nonprofits, kind of like about, how to run a nonprofit or to support nonprofits and things like that. So you can always go and check out. We do have quite full calendars this year, lots of events going on. Usually you'll see that it looks like a calendar, but you can always switch it to a list view as well if you would prefer to see kind of just what's the events that are coming up. Um, and then when you click into one of them, so whether it's in the calendar or in the list view, when you click into one of them, so for example, this one is today, you'll also see a description of what the event is about. You'll find the registration link button over here. You'll see the date and time and things like that. So yeah, that should be able to that's how it will you can sign up for events, and then if you wanted to move to the next month, you just click this button over here, this arrow, to toggle back and forth between the months. So for events, you can also add an event, and again, you just go up to the button here at the top to add a new event, and then you'll be taken to a form, and you just fill out the form. Most of the fields are very similar to the resource one. The only thing is maybe you have a registration link field, and then also the date and time of your event. So when you click into it, you'll select the date, and to select the time, you click this clock here, and then you can select the hour. So that was 13, and then you can select the minutes, and then just make sure you click this green select button to ensure you save it, because if you don't, then it will kind of it won't remember the selection that you've selected. Um, and then also put in an image about your event, and then select, if there are any tags that you want to tag it to. You can also just um not select any tags if you don't want to, or if something doesn't apply to those. As long as your title and your description have, the relevant information, then people should be able to find your event. And then again, you can attach any attachments you need, or embed videos if you want, and then just click save before you leave. So yeah, I think that, and yeah, for both the resource and events, your post will need to be approved before it becomes live on Core. So, and if you want to make any edits after you've saved your event, you can always click into the event and then just click edit, and it'll take you back to the form. So, Stephanie, I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, let me just grab my thing again here. Okay, so we've seen the platform. And if you do have if you start getting on the platform and you have any questions, you can reach out to us. There is that contact button it's the bottom of every page that will have the link to our emails. So you can contact myself, Wingsy, or Selena here if you have questions and you're struggling. So why do you want to be a member of CORE? Well, the sites have quite a few members and users. So it really helps you get your content out to a broad audience, so that you can really share what you're working on with the network. You can also collaborate with the network via those groups that I showed you, which can help you maybe intensify your work or learn more from each other via best practices. And as you saw, there's lots of resources and funding opportunities and other things that can help support your capacity and training. So on the BC site, for example, we have around 3,100 members right now. So that's a pretty large body of folks with registered profiles. However, we also have 37,000 annual active users. So that's folks coming through to the site that might not have a registered profile, but that are still using the site and can see the content that you post on the site. Um, as I mentioned before, we are running out bi-monthly newsletters here, or bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we're running out newsletters. So the BC site has around 2,300 subscribers, and we have 12 groups on that site collaborating on different things. And BC hosted 20 events this last year. So lots of different webinars full of interesting content that you can join. Now where's my platform? There's mine. I somehow skipped myself. Um, my platform, same thing on Alberta. We have around 2,400 members right now, but we have 102,000 active users, so quite a large base that's using the site. We have around 6,600 pieces of content right.
Sorry, Stephanie. I don't think we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I must have hit my elbow hit my little button here. Sorry, folks. What did you last hear?
I think maybe just start again.
Okay,
Like,
I'll
yeah.
start again. Did you hear me talking about BC?
Yes, we heard that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Alberta, you can see the stats here. So we have about 2,400 members, but we have 102,000 active users to the site. So it's quite a wide audience to send your content through. And we have lots of different pieces of content there, over 6,600 pieces of content. So lots of resources for you to access at your fingertips on different things you might need. Our newsletter has around 3,500 newsletter subscribers. So if you post pieces there, as I mentioned, every 2 weeks, the three platforms, we feature little tidbits from the sites. So you can get your content out to some of those subscribers. And then my page has 19 core groups with 1,700 members. So that's a lot of folks collaborating on some of these key issues like elder abuse or intergenerational relationships or, caregivers, etc. And they're hosting different events. So because I think my groups host a few more events than some of the other platforms, we had around 55 webinars this last 12 months. So that was a lot of group-led content of the different community of practices having uh, either webinars or conversation sessions together on key issues. And all of those were posted in the events calendar and in the group space. Okay. And then the national site, you can see we also have around 2,700 members on that site, 76,000 annual active users, 2,500 pieces of content, and 1,800 new subscribers. So really, these three platforms are super beneficial for you to collaborate with the sector, um, connect with others in your region or even across the country, um, get those resources you need, get some of those free professional development and capacity building activities that are on the calendar, and just really access those pieces that can help support your work. Um, while I'm actually mentioning that with the trainings, um, so Wingsy mentioned their summit happens every 2 years. Our summit happens every 2 years, and National also has a summit that happens. So you can get information for valuable events like that. Ours just wrapped up here in October, but Selena and HelpAge are going to try and have theirs in, I believe, June. Correct, Selena? Selena's nodding. And Wingsy in British Columbia, they're going to have theirs in the fall of 2026. So you could get access to those pieces, and usually most of us have been running them virtually as well if you are unable to make it to the physical location. Okay, so getting to know the team. Hello, I'm Stephanie. So my role is the engagement and communication specialist here at Healthy Aging Alberta. I'm here to support and manage the different core groups, so help support the work that they want to do um, with content, email communications, helping them run their events that they want to do, anything the groups are needing support for. If they want to create a new group, people reach out to me and I can help work them through on that, and we work hand in hand. I also provide technical guidance and navigation to general members, and I work on the Healthy Age in Alberta communications team, so things like our newsletters and social medias and other Healthy Age in Alberta communications are coming through me as well. Like our new HAA video, if you haven't seen it, we have a new video that just launched. It's great. Okay, I'm going to pass it to Winksy again.
So at United Way BC, I work on the core platform every day to make sure things are up to date. And if you have any problems on the site, please feel free to reach out and I will respond. My colleague Laura Kadawaki, she oversees research and knowledge mobilization activities, such as research and partnerships with universities, events and conferences, and much more. Yeah, so we're here to help and support you guys. Selena, would you like to speak?
Yeah, for sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Selena. I'm a special projects coordinator at HelpAge Canada, and one of my projects includes managing Core Canada. I monitor resources and create our bi-weekly newsletter alongside my colleague Felicity. It's good to see everyone here, and thanks for joining.
Thanks, Selena. Yeah, you haven't got much chance to hear Selena's voice, so uh, but she's here and she's available for you if you have questions about the platform. Um, I guess I can mention this one. So as mentioned, we do record the sessions on our YouTube channel. We link everything to Core, but then you could also see on our YouTube channels, we have playlists of different events and sessions on both Alberta and BC channels. So you can find some interesting content on that and connect to a certain group playlist if you would like. And I'll let Winksy chat about hers.
Thanks. So yeah, you'll find that we have a YouTube channel as well. And here you can find kind of all of our videos, even though, like Stephanie mentioned, they're on Core as well, but sometimes it might be easier to search for it on our YouTube channel. Most of the things are there. So yeah, I think we just wanted to let you know that we do have YouTube channels if you wanted to go look there. And then I guess the next slide. We also, all three of our platforms have newsletters, and this is a really key way to stay connected. You'll be updated on new resources, funding opportunities, trainings, that sort of thing. Um, because we know you can't always, like, not everybody's going to go onto Core every day and look at what's new or what's been added and things like that. So yeah, the newsletter is just a really good way to stay connected and get a quick snapshot of what's been posted to Core. We also use the newsletter to send out important sector announcements. So yeah, if you have time, please go and sign up for our newsletter. Um, we do know that sometimes when you sign up for a core account, it says like, oh, you've been signed up for the newsletter or something like that. But there have also been cases where that didn't really work out. It didn't automatically add you to the newsletter subscription. So, just to be safe and ensure that you do get notified about anything, just go to the website and at the bottom you'll find a section where you can sign up for the newsletter. And it's really easy. Just put in your name, email, and organization, and that's it. So yeah, this is the end of our presentation. Thank you all of you for joining us today. This event was hosted through Core Alberta and Core BC. And feel free to contact us by email and also Core Canada, like if you have any questions about the national site, feel free to contact them as well. Um, we're also here to, provide tech support and navigation, as Stephanie said. So if you can't find anything, also just send us an email and let us know, and we can help you out with that. Um, there will be an event survey that will be sent out after this, I think. So
Yeah.
please, yeah, just take a few minutes to fill it out and let us know what you found useful, what we can improve on, things like that. That will really help us out. Um, and yeah, thanks again for being here today, and we hope to, hear from you or see you at one of our events one day.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll spend a bit of time for question and answer here too, for anybody that has questions. I am going to put that survey in the chat too, if you want to fill out our survey. It's that link I just shared in the chat. And if you completely forget how to get a hold of us, you don't remember those emails we screen shared, that's okay, because the contact button is on all 3 pages that links directly to us. So you can just go find the contact and find us. It's at the bottom. Okay, let's do a quick question and answer. If anybody has to jump, you can go ahead and jump, but we are going to do a little bit of a question and answer here before we wrap up. So if you have questions, feel free to either ask them in the chat or unmute yourselves. Will this recorded be provided in email for future reference? Yes, it will. I will be getting it up on the YouTube channel and core platform here next week, and I will send a link to all of you with that link so that you have it to access and can watch this again, as well as we'll link it to the core Learning Hub. There is a previous recording on the core Learning Hub, but we're going to refresh it. How do you know you've become approved to join? Well, typically, once we've approved you, you'll get a notice that says you've been approved. You can log in via that that email and password that you provided. You should get a notification though. And if for some reason it's been a little while and you haven't got a notification, or you're not 100% sure and you're like, oh, did it actually go through? And your password's not working, you can just reach out to us and we can see if we can figure out why you can't log in currently. But yeah, you will, usually it takes us, if you apply for a user role, usually we try and approve them in the next few days. It really depends how busy we are, but we try to keep on top of that and get you approved within the next 2 days or so, 2 to 3 days. Any other questions? While we're talking approvals, content approvals, if you put something up there, again, give it just that few days buffer. As Wingsy mentioned, it is the 3 of us that are going through approving. Typically, we're going in every, 1, 2, or 3 days to approve those. So just make sure you're not posting it the day before you need it, that it's happening, like an event, you're not posting it the day before. Number 1, because folks might not see it if it's only 1 day's notice. And number 2, it does need that little bit of a buffer for us to make sure that you've finished all the pieces. And we also we proof it, make sure you haven't forgotten anything important before it goes out, just to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. Do you come to communities for community outreach in BC? Wingsy, do you want to answer that one?
Um, in terms of like promoting the core website, we don't really go into community to promote it because this is more for um, people who work within the sector, the community-based senior serving sector. It's not really for seniors, so we don't do too much outreach. However, when we're like, for example, our backbone agencies like United Way BC, if we're out at an event for our like, we might promote that, but it's usually towards people who are working in the sector.
Yeah, and I know the question was based around BC, but I can echo the same things that Winksy said for Alberta. While we don't do specific outreach presentations typically in the community, just about court, like we can definitely, if you had a whole group of your staff that want to know how to use the platform, I could do a digital presentation for them, no problem. But physically, we're not usually at a resource fair only talking about core. Our regional community developers, and we have 5 of them in Alberta, and BC also has, I don't know how many you have right now.
Yeah, we have also 5 regions as
Yeah.
well, but we have a lot more staff than 5.
Yeah, so those regional community developers, they often they talk about a lot of the work that we're doing. So not just core, but all the other work that United Way BC and Healthy Aging BC and Healthy Aging Alberta are doing, and connecting folks to the sector. So core, you will see them, like the folks in my team, you will see them at outreach fairs. You'll see them they'll come to community organizations and talk to you. If you want to have them talk to you about something specific, you can reach out to them. I have our regional community developer link on the core platform there. I believe if you just type in regional community developer in the search, it'll come up and you can get all their contact information and reach out to the folks in your area if you would like to connect with them. Or you can send me a message with your area and I can connect you. Anything else? Okay, well, I think the questions have wrapped up. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming. We really hope this has been beneficial. We run these every 2 months, so if for some reason you want to catch us live again, you can catch us again in a few months here in the new year. We haven't posted our dates yet, but we'll have them up in the calendar soon. And otherwise, you'll have the recordings and everything else in that core learning hub. And yeah, we really thank you. We hope it was beneficial to you. Reach out if you're struggling. We're here. Please fill out our survey, and we'll send you a post email here next week with the recording.